Welcome, fight fans, to Bigfoot MMA Special Edition. Boy, have we got a treat for you. UFC White House, scheduled for June 14th, South Lawn of the White House, Washington, D.C. And without further ado, let's welcome via live feed our special guest, the President himself. How are you, sir?
First UFC event at the White House ever. We're going to break all the records. It's going to be fantastic.
Thank you, Mr. President. I know the fight isn't till June, but can you tell us how preparations at the White House are going?
Look, I got people right now cleaning up all the dog poop on the lawn in front of the White House.
Yes, sir. Those dogs can sure get messy. Mr. President, can I just draw your attention to some of the amazing potential matchups at the White House? Now, the fight that everyone wants to see has to be the two GOATs, Makhachev against Ilia Topuria, double champ versus double champ, Russia versus Georgia.
Listen, we're not very happy with Russia right now, so if any Russians are fighting at the White House, we're going to have to tariff them. No exceptions. And the same goes for the Chinese fighters as well.
Yes, Mr. President, tariffs it is. If that fight goes ahead, which I hope it does. Okay, sir. Let's now turn our attention to another mouth-watering fight, a possible matchup between current light heavyweight champ Alex Pereira and who many see as the greatest MMA talent of all time, a returning Jon Jones. Now, both fighters have verbally said they're willing to fight each other, so it's really down to the UFC to make it happen if they so desire. Mr. President, I know you were at Jon Jones's last fight. He did your shuffle. How well do you think he'd do in this matchup?
Who's he fighting? Alex who? What did you say his name was again? Look, if he's Mexican, I don't know. But if he is, then he's got to be here legally, you know? He can't just sneak across the border. I hope he's here legally and got the papers to prove it.
His name is Alex Pereira, sir. He's Brazilian, but you made your point loud and clear. Now, Mr. President, aside from Jon Jones, we might possibly see another American star on the card, Kayla Harrison, the current women's bantamweight champion. I really think there's a good chance she'll be fighting Amanda Nunes, arguably the greatest female MMA fighter of all time, who's coming out of retirement to prove she's still the queen in the women's division. Sir, I know you're somewhat of a specialist when it comes to women, if you know what I mean. Any thoughts on that particular matchup?
Look, the American fighters are the best in the world. Mixed martial arts, boxing, you name it. It was invented here in the U.S. We've been fighting since the Declaration of Independence. The problem is everyone's stealing our fighting techniques and we're not taxing them. That's got to change. I'm going to speak to JD about that.
Sir, that's a really interesting point. I never really thought of it that way. Now, everyone's been nagging me to ask, so here's a hypothetical question. If you were a young MMA fighter in your prime, how well do you think you'd fare against a young President Vladimir Putin or President Xi Jinping?
Look, I could take them both on at the same time. 2 against 1, no problem. Putin's short, so I'd keep him at distance and fire head kicks. Xi doesn't have a ground game, so I'd probably double leg him and choke him out. It'd be beautiful. Easy peasy.
Wow, I had no idea that you were a grappler.
I'm grappling Melania all the time. I'd probably have a lot more kids if her takedown defense wasn't so good.
Ha ha ha. Look, I know you're busy, Mr. President, and that you've got to get back to your golf game. Are there any last words before I let you go?
I just want to thank you, Bigfoot, for all the great work you're doing. You're making the world of MMA very, very proud. Keep up the good work, and I'll see y'all at the event.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, that about wraps it up for this special edition. What other fights do you want to see at UFC White House? Let me know in the comments below. And remember to subscribe if you want to see more unique MMA content like this.